guys, this is Shekar. Now I'm going to talk about constraints in SQL language of a Oracle database. So to know the role of constraints in SQL language, let's follow me on my screen to get clear-cut information about these constraints in Oracle database. So let us see. So this is the constraints. Here we have the constraints definition is there. So let's see. These are used to restrict unwanted or unnecessary data or invalid data into a database table. So generally this restrict means prevent. So these are used to restrict. That means these are used to prevent the unwanted. Prevent in the sense, generally prevent is nothing but to stop. So these are used to stop. That means to prevent, to restrict. So these are used to restrict the unwanted data or unnecessary data. So that means invalid data into a database table. So this is the meaning of this is the definition of constraints in Oracle database. So generally Oracle database has 5 types of constraints here. So they are unique constraint and not null constraint and check constraint. Then we have a primary key constraint, and the last one is foreign key constraints. So these are the constraints. These are the constraints to restrict the unwanted. So that means unwanted in the sense unnecessary data or invalid data into a database table. This is the main purpose of constraints we are using in SQL language of a Oracle database to stop. These are used to stop invalid data into a particular table. So here the database, our Oracle database has following 5 types of constraints. So unique constraint, not null constraint, check constraint, and primary key constraint, and foreign key constraint. So let's see. Let's see here. We can apply these 5 constraints in two ways. So we can apply these constraints onto a table in 2 ways. They are a column level constraint and table level constraint. So let us see the column level constraints. So column level constraints. In this method, we are defining constraints. That means we are applying constraints on individual columns of a table. So if you have n number of columns, so whenever you are going to apply the constraints at column level, so you need to follow the definition of this column level. In this method, we are defining the constraints. That means we are applying the constraints on individual columns of a particular table. So here we have the syntax for this column level constraints. So this is the syntax. So it is also like a table creation syntax. Just we are applying constraints. We are applying constraints in table creation syntax. So let us see the syntax. Create table, and table name. We need to mention whatever the table name. Do you want to assign a name for the table name? And we need to mention that table name here. And after that, we need to give the column name 1, and we need to assign a data type for the column name 1, and as well as you need to give the size for the data type of the column name 1, and you just mention the constraint type. And like this, you can also add another column name here, and it depends upon the requirement, the user requirement. You can also add a column name 2 and the data type for the column name 2 and the size of the data type of the column name 2. And if you want to apply any constraint for the column name 2, you can easily apply for the constraint type for the column name 2. So this is the process to create a table using constraint type, using constraint at column level. So similarly when it comes to table level, so in this method we are defining constraint. We are defining constraints after all columns are declared. So we are defining constraints after all columns are declared in a table. That means we are defining the constraints at the end of the table definition. That means let us see the syntax for this. That means the formula for this table level is create table, and as like we need to mention the table name here, and column 1 you should take here, and we need to assign the data type for the column name, and we need to give the size of the data type for the column name 1 is there, and comma we need to mention the column name 2, and similarly we need to add we need to assign the data type for the column name 2, and we here also we can use we can assign size of the data type of the column name 2, like this, so on n number of columns you need to mention here, and after defining of all n number of columns we need to give the constraint type, and we need to mention the column names. Whatever the column is, do you want to assign the constraint type? Do you want to assign a constraint type on which number of columns, which type of columns? You need to mention that many columns name in this bracket. So this is the table level constraints. So these are the two ways we can use these constraints in Oracle database. Let us see the number of the 5 number of constraints here we have. So here we have the 5 number of constraints. First one is unique constraint, and second one is not null, and third one is check, and fourth one is primary key, and then we have the last one is foreign key. So by dealing with these five constraints, it will take too late to complete this session, so that I will split this session into 2 sessions. So in first session I will going to talk about only these first 3 constraints. So now I'm going to talk about this unique constraint and not null constraint and check constraint here. So after that, in second session I will tell about this primary key and foreign key. So let's follow to get this clear-cut information about unique key and not null key and check constraint. So let's follow me. So let us see the one by one to get the clear-cut information about this topic. So here we have the first one is unique constants. Generally, unique is nothing. Unique is nothing but a distinct value. Distinct is nothing but it doesn't accept any duplicates. So it's like a values without matching to the one value is not matching to the another value. So that is the meaning of unique. So let us see the definition for the unique. So it is used to restrict. We know very well the meaning of restrict here. It is used to restrict means stop, that means prevent. It is used to prevent the duplicate data, but generally it accepting nulls into a table. So let us read this definition of unique constraint carefully. So it is used to restrict. That means it is used to stop the duplicate data, but accepting the nulls into a table. Nulls means if any cell of the table is empty, that means it is a nil. General meaning of nil in computer terminology, it's a null. So null. So it is used to restrict the duplicate data. That means it is used to stop the duplicate data and accepting the nulls into a table. So this is the definition of unique constraint. Here we have the formula for unique constraint. So it is a syntax for unique constraint. Let us see the syntax. So here we have the table creation syntax by using the unique constraint. So create table. After that we need to mention the table name. Whatever the table name do you want to assign as a table name, you need to mention the table name here, and you need to give the column names of a particular table. So column name 1 I need to mention here, and I need to assign the data type for the column name 1, and similarly I need to give the size of the data type of the column name 1. And if you want to apply, that means if you want to define a unique constraint on this particular column name 1, you need to mention. If you want, you can. So it depends upon the user requirement. So now I'm going to use this unique constraint on column name 1. So that's why I'm taking unique constraint on this column name 1. So like this, comma, column name 2 we need to mention here, and after that we need to give the data type for the column name 2, and we need to assign the size of the data type of the column name 2. If you want unique constraint condition, that means if you want to apply unique constraint on this column name 2 also you can apply like this. So this is the syntax for the unique constraint to create any table. So let us see the general syntax of, that means the general formula to create any table in this Oracle database. Let us see. So let us see, here we have our table creation syntax. Table creation syntax is any table. For example, if you want to create any table, so here we have the table, here we have the syntax, that means here we have the formula is create table. Any table we are using this formula in database. So create table, we need to mention the table name here. After that we need to give the column name 1 of the table, and we need to mention the data type for the we need to mention the data type for the column name 1, data type for the column name 1, and we need to give the size of the data type of the column name 1. This is the general syntax to create any table in this Oracle database. And column 2, and after that here also we need to give the data type for the column name 2, and here also we need to give our size for the data type of the column name 2. So this is the general syntax, and comma like this. So on, we can also give the column name n for the table creation, and we need to give the data type for the column n, and we need to give the size of the data type of the column name n. So this is the general syntax to create any table in this Oracle database. So so now I'm going to create one table according to this table creation syntax. I'm going to create a table without using any constraint. Let us see how I am going to create a table in Oracle database without using any constraint, without using 5 types of constraints. Now I'm going to create one table in Oracle database by using SQL plus tool. So now I'm going to connect to the Oracle database by using SQL plus tool. Here we have the SQL plus tool. So so now I want to create one table here without using any constraint. This is the syntax to create any table. Create table, and we need to give the table name here. That means whatever the table name, what type of table name I should take here. So whatever the name do you want to take, you can take. So I want to take the college as the name of the table, and so the create table name is college, and after that we need to mention the column 1 next in college table. I want to take column 1 as a student ID, and the data type for the SID is integer. So why I am taking integer data type for the SID means SID IDs are in the form of integers only. That is why I am taking integer. So generally we need not to mention the size for the integer data type of any column in Oracle database. That's why I'm not taking any size for the integer data type of the SID column. So after that I want to take the column name as a name column I'm taking here, and I'm giving the data type for the name column is varchar2. So any name in the form of English letters or a combination of characters. That's why. So the data type for the name column is varchar2. So and I'm giving the size for the name column of the data type varchar2 is 20, and varchar2 is 20. Similarly, I want to take the marks of the student, and the marks are also in the form of numbers. So now I'm taking number data type for the marks column, and I'm giving the size of the number data type of the marks column is 3, and I'm closing the bracket. So this is the general syntax. That is the general syntax to create the college table without using any constraint, without using 5 types of constraint. I'm going to create this college table. So let us see. So one table has been created here. So let us see how many rows are there in this table. To know that how many number of rows, to know the details of a particular table, here we have the syntax is select star from a table name. Table name means here our table name is college. Here our table name is college. So here we didn't get any data. So why we didn't get any data means we just created the table along with the columns and data types, but we didn't insert any row to this college table as of now. So that's why it is showing no rows in this table. So now I want to insert a few rows into this table. So for that I'm using the insert command here. Insert into table name. According to the insert command query, insert into table name is college, and we need to mention the values keyword here, and I'm going to insert the values into the college table dynamically. So I need to mention the SID here, and comma. After that I need to insert the values for name column here. So after that I need to insert the marks column, so that I can insert the marks into this column. So this is the way to insert dynamical values, insert the values dynamically into a particular table. See, our particular table name is college. Sorry, here our particular table name is college. So now I'm going to enter few rows into this college table. Dynamically I'm going to enter the values. So it is asking please enter the value for SID. So I'm going to enter the 10 as a SID, and I'm going to take the name is A, and now I'm going to take the marks for the A is 230. So 230. So one row has been created to this marks table, created to this college table. So similarly, I want to insert one more row to this college table. If I use the right slash in this Oracle database, it will run the previous query. And that is why it is asking again. Please enter for the SID number. Now I am going to enter the SID is 11, and I am going to enter the name is B, and I am going to enter the marks is 240. So 240. So one more row is has been inserted into this college table. So I want to insert one more row here. So it is asking again SID, and it is asking again name, and it is asking again the marks is 250. So yeah, here the three rows have been inserted into this college table. Let us see now. Let us see the details of this college table here. So to know the number of rows in college table, here we have the syntax is select star from college. So yeah, here we have inserted 3 rows into this college table. So we have given the 10, 11, 13 as the student ID, and the names are students names are A, B, C, and we have given the marks for the students 230, 240 and 250. So this is the table creation. Without using any constraint. So let's see one more row I want to insert into this table. So insert into college. So one more row I want to insert, and 13. Let us find the difference. 13 and 230. So I didn't mention values keyword here. So here we have the table. College. So to know the details of the college table is to use the select star from college name here, and here we have the 3 rows are there. I need to insert one more row into this table. So insert into college, table name means college, and we need to use the values keyword. I didn't use this values keyword in previous query, that's why I got the error. So now I'm using the values keyword, and I want to give the student name is A, and the student name is C, and I want to assigning the marks for the student C is 250 again. So yeah, here also one more row has been inserted into this college table. Let us see now what are the details are there in this college table. How many rows are there in this college table? What are they? To know, here we have the syntax is select star from table name. Your table name is college. So yeah, let us observe at firstly we have inserted 3 rows into this college table, and after that I have inserted one more row to this college table. So the in resulted latest college table details, we got the 4 rows. So here third row and the fourth row is same. So there is no particular rules to enter this college table, because it is created without any constraint. So now I am going to explain you about the constraint usage in Oracle database. So for that, now I am going to tell you about the unique key constraint. Here we have a syntax for the unique key constraint is, so it is used to restrict the duplicate data but accepting the nulls into a table. So this is the general meaning of general definition of the unique key constraint. So that means it is used to stop the duplicate data, that means prevent the duplicate data, and but accepting nulls into a table. So this is a syntax for the unique constraint in Oracle database. So let us see. It is also like a table creation syntax. So create table, and we need to mention the table name here. As per the syntax of table creation, here also we need to take the column name 1, and we need to give the data type for the column name 1. And here also we can assign the size of the data type of the column name 1. And if you want to assign a unique constraint on a particular column name 1, you can also assign. And like this, we need to mention the column name 2 data type for the column name 2, and the size of the data type for the column name 2. And if you want to apply unique key constraint on this column name 2, you can. So this is the syntax for using unique key constraint. This is the syntax of a table creation using a unique key constraint. So let us see. Now I'm going to create one table. So using this unique key constraint. So I want to clear the screen. So here we have created one table. I want to see that table details. So college table we have created. So I want to see the details of the college here. So we have created this college table having 3 columns and 4 rows. So let's see. Now I want to create another table by using constraint. This is the college table without using any constraint. So now I'm going to create another table having a unique constraint by using unique constraint. So now I'm going to create another table by using a unique key constraint. So let us see. So regarding the syntax, by using a unique key constraint, create table name is college, college 1. Already college table is there in this Oracle database, that is why I am taking college 1. So and I'm going to take the SID column, student ID, and the student ID is in the form of integer, that's why I'm taking the integer data type. So and the size of the integer data type is no need here. And the second one is I'm going to take the second column name is name, and the names are in the form of characters, that's why I'm taking varchar2 data type, and I'm going to give the size for the varchar2 data type of the name column is 20. And so here just observe I want to create this table by using the unique key constraint. So now I want to use the unique key constraint on student ID column. So if you want to apply unique key constraint on a particular column, so this is the way. You need to mention the column name, and after that you need to give the data type for the column name, and after that you need to give the particular constraint name. Here our particular constraint name is unique. So and I want to take second column name is name, and names generally are in the form of varchar2, and I am giving the size for the name column is 20. So here also I'm taking unique key constraint, comma. I'm going to take the third column is marks. Marks are generally in the form of numbers, that's why I'm using the number data type for the marks column, and I'm giving 3 as the size of the number data type of the marks column. So this is the syntax to create This is the syntax to create a college1 table by using the unique key constant on SID column and name column. So I'm not using this unique key constant on marks column. Let us see this table. Let's see the output for this query. What table has been created here. So let us see that records in table records in college1 table. So select star from college1. So there are no rows because we didn't insert any row in this college1 table. Now I want to insert few records in this table. So generally this when we are dealing with unique key constants, if you want to insert SID name as a 10 and SID column is 10, SID value is 10, and the unique name and you need to give the name as a by using the unique key constant on SID column, and we need to use the unique key constant on name column. So it will take 10 and the A, and after that if you want to add the one more row like this only, if you want to add 10 as for the previous value, if you want to give the 10 and if you want to give the A as the name, it will restrict this data because these are the duplicate values. Already we have inserted 10 as the first value of the first column, and we have inserted the A as the first name of the first column of this name column. So that is why, so it will not take this 10 and it will not take this A as this name, because these are already inserted. That means these are the duplicate values. So this unique key constant will restrict the duplicate values. And after that if you want to insert a null value into this table, so it is null value into this table, it can allow. So the general definition of the unique key constant is like that only. So let us read the definition of the unique key constant. It is used to restrict the duplicate data. That means duplicate values. Data means values. It is used to restrict the duplicate data. That means it is used to stop the duplicate data, but accepting nulls into a table. So this is the definition of the unique key constant. By according to that syntax, if you want to insert 10A, you can insert, and after that in second values of the columns, if you want to insert again 10 and A, it will not take, because we are using unique key constant on this both columns. So that is why this unique key constant restrict this duplicate values here. And if you want to insert null values into this both columns, it will allow. Generally this unique key constant restrict the duplicate values but accepting nulls into table. This is the meaning of the unique key constant. Now I'm going to insert a few records into few rows into this table, college1 table. So college1 table. So the values keyword I need to mention here, and I want to give the student ID is 10, and after that I want to give the name is A, and I want to give the marks for the name is 230. So this is the way to insert these three values as a single row into this college1 table. So one row has been created here. So let's see one row has been created here. Let us see details of college1 table. Yeah, here college1 table is only having only one row. So like this, I want to insert one more row to this college1 table. Insert into college1 and values are 10, and I want to give the name here also A, and I want to give the marks 230. So I want to give the marks as 240. So if I want to give this 10 value as a SID as a second row of this college table, so if I give the name also a, as a second row of this college one table, and 240 is the marks of the college table. So these values now I'm going to insert as a second row of this college one table. So what will be happen? So just find the output, just observe the output for this query. Yeah, so here we got the error. So why we are getting the error is like that: unique constant Shekar dots is this constant error. This is the code for the unique constant error. Unique constant error. Why we are getting this error means, already we have inserted SID as 10 and S name, student name is A, and we are giving we are assigned unique key constant on both these two column names. That is why when we are going to insert a duplicate value, that means 10 is a duplicate value now. Already we have inserted 10 as a first value of the first column of the first row of this first row of this table, and name also we have already inserted as a first row value. So that is why when we are going to insert one more time this 10 and A as a student name and the student ID, so this will restrict this constant, this unique constant will restrict this value into this table. That's why it is stopping to insert this 10 and A values of table, A values of college one table. It will restrict. This is the meaning of unique key constant. So this row is not going to be inserted in this row. Why we cannot insert these values into these three values in this three values as a second row of college one table means we have used unique key constant on SID column and name column while the creation of this college one table, creation of this college one table. So let us see whether this row has been inserted or not to this college one table. Let us see. So yeah, here we have only one row. So we didn't insert. That means we couldn't insert a 10 comma A comma 240 marks as a second row of this college one table. Why we couldn't insert this row means already 10 and the name A is already inserted in this college one table, and we are using unique key constant on this both two columns, both SID column and name column, and we are using a unique key constant on both this SID column, name column. That's why it will restrict the duplicate values. 10 and A are the duplicate values. That is why it will restrict these two values. That's why this total row is not going to be inserted into this college one table as a second row. So this is the way to insertion of this is the use of unique key constant. It will restrict the duplicate values. And so it will accept the null. So now I want to insert another row. Let us see. It will restrict the duplicate values as above. So it will restrict the duplicate values. So now I want to insert one more row to this college one table. So by using insert command is inserted to college one. Table name is college one, and we need to give the values keyword here, and I need to give the null keyword, null value. So null value, so I am giving a null value as a student ID and null value as a student name, and I am giving the marks for the student is 230. So marks for the student is 230. So now I am going to insert this row into this college one table. So one row has been inserted to the college one, and let us see the details. That means let us see the how many rows and what are the rows are there in this college one table means, see we have the syntax: select star from table name is college one. So let us see. So here we have inserted a 10 and A and 230 as a single row into this college one table. After that we have just now inserted student id is null and the student name is null and the marks is 230. So let us see the general syntax of the general meaning of the unique constant is, it is used to restrict the duplicate values. It is used to restrict, that means it is used to stop the duplicate values, that means it is used to prevent the duplicate values but accepting nulls into a table. So here it is accepting nulls, here it is accepting nulls. We can't see the null value here, but there is a null value there, so it is accepting null values. Under this SID column, second value is null, and under name column, second value is null, and the third value of marks column of the college one table is 230. So the general definition of the unique constant is, it will restrict the null value, it will restrict the duplicate values and accepting the null values. So if you want to enter the 10 comma a as the name, student id and the name, so it will not going to insert this values as a row into this table. Why we can't insert these values? Because this unique key constant, we have applied this unique key constant on SID column and name column. That is why this unique key constant restrict the duplicate values. So already we have used this 10 as a SID value and the a as the name value. That is why we can't insert these 10 and a values again, because this unique key constant restrict, that means to stop this duplicate values while inserting the data into this college one table. This is the meaning of unique key constant. When if you want to insert null values as a student id and the student name, so it will accept. So unique constant tells that I am going to accept the null values, but I am going to restrict the duplicate values. So this is the general meaning of the general definition of the unique key constant in Oracle database. So similarly, here we have the next constant is not null. So not null. So here we have the so let us see this. If you want to insert a 1 comma a, so it will allowed. So it will while using with unique key constant. So if you want to insert these 1 comma a values is allowed. So and 1 comma a is not allowed, because these are the duplicate values. So if you want to insert null values, it is allowed. This is the meaning of unique constant in Oracle database. Let us see the not null constant. So second one is not null constant. So it is also same as the unique key constant, but it is quite different to the unique key constant. Let us read the definition for this not null constant. So it is used to restrict, that means it is used to stop the null values but accepting duplicate values into your table. Let us read the unique key constant definition. It is used to restrict, that means it is used to stop the duplicate values but accepting nulls into your table. When it comes to not null constant, it is used to restrict null values but accepting the duplicate values. So these unique key constant and not null constant are quite opposite to each other. That is why here we have the definition for the not null constant is, it is used to restrict the null values but accepting the duplicate values. So let us see practically. Here we have the syntax as like the unique key constant. If you want to apply not null constant on a particular column of a table, you need to give that constraint name while the creation of a table. So we need to apply that constraint name on a particular column while the creation of a particular table. So this is a syntax: create table name, column name 1, and we need to give the data type and size for the column name 1. And if you want to apply the not null condition, that means not null constraint on a particular column name 1, you can apply like this, comma column name 2, and you need to mention the data type and the size of the column name 2. And if you want to if you want to if you want to apply the not null condition, that means if you want to apply the not null constraint on this column name 2 also, then you can also use this not null here. If you don't want to apply the not null constraint on column name 2, so you don't need to apply here. You don't need to apply not null constraint of the not null constraint on column 2 here. So this is the syntax for the table creation by using the not null constraint. So let us see. Now I'm going to use this syntax to create one table using this not null constraint. So now I'm going to create one table by using not null constraint. So according to the table creation syntax with using of by using of not null constraint. Here we have the syntax is create table, and table name is now I'm going to take the table name is college2. Sorry, you can take student table name. So now I'm taking table name is student. So now I'm going to give the column name 1 is SID, that means student ID. Generally student ID is in the form of integer, that's why I'm taking the data type for the student ID is integer. And now I'm going to apply the not null constraint here, and I want to take the column name 2 is name. So names are generally is in the form of characters or English letters. That is why generally the characters and the English letters are in the form of characters. That is why I'm taking the varchar2 data type for the name column, and I'm giving the size for the varchar2 data type of the name column is 20. And here also I'm using not null constraint. Not null constraint. If you want to don't use this not null constraint on column 2, you can write like this. So you can write like this. So now I want to apply not null here also. I want to apply not null constraint on column 2. That's why I'm taking. Now I'm applying not null constraint on this column 2 also. So that's why I'm taking not null keyword here. So after that I need to take the third column name is marks. Generally marks are in the form of numbers. So I'm assigning the data type for the marks column is number, and I'm giving the size for the number data type of the marks column is 3. So this is the syntax to create a student table by using not null constraint on SID column and name column. So let's see. So here we have name is already used by an existing object. Here we are creating a table with the name is student. So in our database, here we are already having the student table name in this database. That's why I'm getting error here. So now I want to drop the student table. So already there in this, before creation of the student table, it is already there in this Oracle database. That is why I'm getting error. So I want to copy this total. I want to copy this student creation student table creation syntax. So now I want to drop that student table. So because already we have the student table in this Oracle database, that's why we need to delete that student table details from this database. So to delete any table, this is the syntax: drop table name is student. Drop table, we need to mention the table name. So this is the way to delete a particular table from this Oracle database. Now I want to delete the student table from this database. So here so now we don't have a student table in this Oracle database. So now I want to create the student table again. So I just want to paste this copied query, so to create a student table again. So here I'm going to creating the student table and applying not null constraints on SID column and name column, and I'm going to create the student table by using not null constraint on SID column and name column. Let us see. this student table has been created. Let us see how many records, that means how many rows are there in this student table means. So here we have the syntax to select star from our table name, that means table name is students. So here we don't have any row, so because we didn't insert any row as of now, we just have created student table having 3 columns, and we are using not a null constant and SID column and a name column, and we didn't insert any row as of now. That's why it is showing no rows. So now I want to insert a few rows into this student table. So by using the insert command query, so insert into table name is student, and we need to add the values keyword here. And so I'm going to give the SID is 10, and I'm going to give the name is A. So A is in the form of English letter, that's why I'm taking this A name in between the single quotes. Oracle allows the characters or English letters in between the single quotes, that's why I'm giving this name in between the single quotes. So and after that I need to assign the marks for the student is 230. So this is the way to insert these many 3 values as a single row into the student table. So let us see the output for this query. So one row has been inserted to this student table. So let us see now what are the records are there in the student table. So there, and again I'm using the select star from student query. So yeah, here we have only one row. That's we have just now inserted one row having three values, 10 as the SID and A as the S name, student name, and 230 as marks for the student. So now I want to insert one row. Now I want to insert again one row. Let's observe. So insert into a student table, student values keyword we need to use here, and I'm going to enter the second row value is 10, and I'm going to give the name. Here also I'm going to give the name is A, and here also I'm going to give the marks are 240. So this is the query to inserting these values as a second row to this student table. Now I'm going to insert these 3 values as a second row of this student table. Let us see the output for this query. Yeah, one row has been created, one row has been inserted into the student table. Let us see how many rows are there in this student table. So yeah, so here we have our 2 rows. So let's observe. So firstly we have inserted 10A and the 230 values as a single row into this table. After that, secondly we have inserted SID value is 10 and S name value is A. So though these 2 values are duplicate, it is accepting. So general definition of this not null constraint is it is used to restrict the null values only. That means it is used to stop the null values only, but accepting the duplicate values. Accepting means allows. Accepting means duplicate values. So here the same thing happened here. So it accepted the duplicate values. So this is the meaning of the not null constant. Let us say one more row I want to insert by using null values into this table. Insert into student table. I want to insert one more to this student table. So I want to use the insert command query and to use the values keyword in this insert command query, and I want to give the S name as a null. And I want to give the SID as a null, and I want to give the S name as a null, and I want to give the marks are 240. So this is so these three values, one value is student ID value is null, and the student name value is null, and I'm going to give the student marks is 240. These having these 3 values. Now I'm going to add one more row to this student table. by using these three values as a single row into this two table. Let's see the output for this query. Yeah, we cannot insert null into this table, null into the student table. It is showing the error is like we cannot insert null value into this student table. Why we cannot insert this null value into this table means while the creation of student table we applied a not null constraint on SID and not null constraint on sname call. That is why it will not take null values as a student ID and the student name. So here it don't bother about this marks column. So it will take 240, but along with these two values it cannot take this 240 also here. So that is why this is the problem to insert null values into this table. This is the general meaning of not null constraint. Let us read. It is used to restrict the null values but accepting the duplicate values into a table. So we are trying to insert the null values as a single row into this table. We got the error is we can't insert null values into a student table as a row. So we are inserting a 240 as a marks along this null values. So it is also restricted. So in case of single row, single row having null values, it will be restricted. So by using this null value. So this is the way to understand the null constraint in Oracle database. So let us see how many rows are there in this table, student table. So here we have only two rows. So it didn't accept the third row having the null values. So that is why we are getting only two rows here. So this is the concept of not null constraint. So next we have the third one is, so it is let us look over this diagram. So whenever we are using dot null on a particular columns, so it will accept the null, it will accept the duplicate values like this 10. If you want to insert a 10 as a SID and A as a name, and again if you want to insert the same values as a SID and the same SID and the same name is A, so it will accept. Whenever you are going to insert the null values into this table by using this not null constraint on this both the columns, so it will not be allowed. These values are not be allowed by this not null constraint. So this is the way to understand not null constraint in this Oracle database. So let us see the third one. So we have seen these values along with these values by using or not null constraint. If you want to insert 1 comma A, that means if you want to insert 1 as the SID and the A as the S name into a student table, it is allowed. And but whenever we are inserting 1 and A as the second row of the student table, so it is also allowed. But if you want to insert the null values as a student ID and the student name, it will not be allowed. So this is the meaning of not null constraints. So here we have the third one is check constraint. Check constraint is like a condition in the table creation. So let us see. So it is used to check the values with the user defined condition. So it is used to check the values. It is used to check the values with a user condition, with a user defined condition. So it is used to check the values with a user defined condition before accepting values into a column of a table. So it is used to check the values with a user defined condition before accepting means allowing values into a column of a table. So let us see the syntax. If you see the syntax of this check constraint, you can easily understand. So this is the formula. So formula to create any table by using the check constraint. So this is the syntax: create table, and you need to add the table name here, and we need to give the column name 1 and data type and size of the column name 1, and similarly comma, we need to give the column name 2 and data type and the size of the column name 2, and after that if you want to use the if you want to apply the check constraint on this column name 2, you can write like this only. So let us see practical example for this constraint. So with the question, if you have the question is like that: write a query to restrict the student fee if it is greater than 1000 into a student table, greater than 1000 into a student table. So if the question, if you want to if in the case to face this question is like write a query to restrict the student fee if it is greater than 10,000, into a student table. So here we have so now I'm going to give the answer for this question in terms of the query by using check constant. So let us see. Here we have the student table. I want to delete this student table from this database to understand this check constant. So I want to delete the student table from this database. So that's why I'm using the queries drop table name is student. To delete this student table, I'm using this query. So student table has been deleted from this database. So I want to clear the screen, and now I'm going to create again the student table by using check constraint. According to the syntax of the table creation by using check constraint, I'm going to take the student ID, and it is an integer data type, and I'm going to take second column is SV, student ID and SV, and SV generally is in the form of amount. Amount is nothing but the numbers, and now I'm going to give the number data type for the SV column, and I'm giving the size for the number data type is 10. I'm giving the 10 as the size for the number data type of the SV column, and I'm going to use the check constant. So in the check constant, I'm going to give the condition is, so according to the question he is asking write a query to restrict the student fee if it is greater than 10,000. So if the value of the student fee is greater than 10,000, then that particular value we need to restrict by using check constant. So we need to give the condition in the check constant like this only: if the value is greater than 10,000, we need to restrict here by using the check constant. This is the syntax to create a student table along with the check constant. Having the condition is those who are the students, those who are getting those who are paying the student fees as greater than 10,000, we need to restrict that many students school fees here. So this is the table creation. So let us see the output for this query. So rest of the line ignored. Here I am getting error. So here create spelling is, I did a mistake in create spelling, that's why I am getting error here. So I want to clear the screen. So create table name, our table name is student, and I need to take the SID as a student name, student ID. So generally the data type for the student ID is integer, and I want to take the SV column, student fee column, and fee is in the form of, or generally is in the form of amount. Amount is nothing but the numbers. That's why I'm taking the number data type for the student fee, and I'm mentioning the size of the number data type of the student fee is 10. I'm going to give the check constant, and I'm going to give the condition in the check constant is whoever the student is paying greater than 10,000. So we need to restrict that many students school fee details here. So by using this check constant, in this student table, So this is the syntax to create the student table along with the check constant having the condition is student fee is greater than 10,000. So let us see the output for this query. One table student has been created along with the check constant condition. So let us see how many rows are there in this student table here. So yeah, so no rows are there. We have just created the student table along with the check constant, but we didn't insert any row as of now. That's why we are getting no rows in this table. So now I want to insert few rows into this table. So insert into a student table according to the insert query command. Insert into table name. Table name is student. We need to add the values keyword. After that, I'm going to take SID is 10, and after that I'm going to give the school fee for the student is 9,000. So let us check whether this values has been values are going to insert as a single row or not. Let's check by using this query output is. So yeah, so our condition according to the question is, so he is asking please restrict the student fee if it is greater than sorry, we need to take less than here. So that is why we are getting confusion. So write a query to restrict the student fee if it is less than the 10,000 into a student table. So the question is like that. Write a query to stop the student fee if it is less than 10,000. So he is asking less than 10,000. That's why we are giving S fee is the greater than 10,000. That's why. So whenever we are going to give the S fee is less than 10,000, that many records not going to be inserted into the student table. Let us check another row. That's why we are getting error while we inserting the 9,000 as a school fee for this student. So I'm going to inserting one more row to this student table. So it will show the check constraint violated. That means it is showing error because our condition is S fee must be so if the S fee is greater than 10,000, it will accept. But the fee is less than 10,000, it is not going to be accepted that many value into the table. So that is why this check constant restricted the 9,000 value to this student table. So let us insert one more value as a single row to this student table. I'm going to now I'm going to give the SID is 11, and I'm going to give the 11,000 as a school fee. So let's check. So whether this values are going to inserted as a single row into this student table or not. Yeah, one row has been inserted to this single row. So why this value has been inserted, has been allowed means, so this 11,000 is greater than 10,000. So he is asking in the question, please restrict the student fee if it is less than 10,000. So whoever the student fee, whoever the students fees are paying are less than 10,000, he is asking you need to restrict that many student fees phases to not allow into this student table. So here our 11,000 is greater than 10,000 now. That's why we have a chance to enter this 11,000 because it is greater than 10,000. He is asking please restrict the values, please restrict the school fee values if it is less than 10,000. But here it is accepting 11,000 because it is greater than 10,000. So that is why it is allowing 11,000 as a single row, 11,000 value as a single row. So let us check how many records are there in this student table. So yeah, So here it is accepted 11,000 as a value and 11 as the student ID. So first we have inserted 10 as the student ID and the 9,000 as the student fee. So 9,000 here, 9,000 is less than 10,000 now. So he is asking, please restrict the school fees if it is less than 9,000. So that is why this check constraint restrict this 9,000 to not allowed into this student table. So when we are going to insert the 11,000, this check constraint allows this 11,000 into school fee. Let us check. Let us insert another row. Now I want to insert another row into the student table. So I'm going to insert one more row to the student table. So SID, I'm going to give the SID is 12, and now I'm going to give the S fee is 8,000. So now I want to check by seeing this, seeing the output for this query, whether these two values are going to insert as a single row into the student table or not. And now I want to check the output for this query. Yeah, this check constraint violated. That means this check constraint is not allowing this 8,000. So why it is not allowing this 8,000? So he is asking. So write a query to or restrict the student fee if it is less than 10,000. That is why while the table creation, so on the check constraint, so we have given the condition is like that. So if the school fee is greater than 10,000 only, it will accept. Otherwise, if the school fee is less than 10,000, it will not going to be accepted. So that is why. So whenever we are going to insert this 8,000 as a school fee for the particular student, so the check constant here, the check constant is violated. That means it is giving the error. So it is giving the error, and the error code is C001232. So it is telling us that we are not supposed to enter this 8,000 as a school fee of particular student. So this check constant not allowing this 8,000 into a single row. So this is the use of check constant. Now you can also, if you want to insert one more row, you can easily understand. So now I want to insert one more row to this student table. Insert into the student table. And I need to use the values keyword here. I need to give the student ID is 13. I need to give the school fee. Student fee is 12,000. So this row, let us check this row is going to be accepted or not. So we have given the condition is on the school fee by using the check constraint. If the school fee is greater than 10,000, then only it is accepted. Otherwise that means if the school fee is less than 10,000, it is not going to be accepted by using this check constraint. So let us check whether these values are going to be inserted as a single row or not to this student table by seeing this output. Now I want to see the output for this query. Yeah. So here this value as also accepted as a single row into the student table. Let us check the details of student table here. Yeah. So it is accepting 11,000 and 12,000. But it is not accepting 8,000 and 9,000 because the question is like that only. Please restrict the student fees is less than, if it is less than 10,000. So that is why we have given. So we have given the condition in the check constraint while creating the student table on SV column. So we are giving the SV condition is SV is much greater than the 10,000. So this is the meaning of. This is the usage of constraints in Oracle database. So these are the usages of unique key constraint and not null constraint, unique key constraint and not null constraint, and check constraint. So we have seen this many unique constraint and not null constraint, check constraint, and in another session now I am going to tell about the primary key constraint and foreign key constraints. So thank you guys, thank you very much.